Okay, this has been a terrible podcast, everybody. Sorry.
I think it's been a great podcast.
The question is, should we post it? And the answer is always yes. We're going to post it.
It's always yes.
So, let's go, baby.
Why want to be in the middle of the episode? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Welcome to MTZBWY with you, America's most clustery TCG podcast. You never know who's going to show up. It's a wild ride.
I'm always here. I am always here.
That is why our views never go up. I'm of course joined by the man who came to South Carolina, told me whatever you do, don't come see me, Louis DeGeorge.
Thank you. And we will be joined. You have to give Josh an intro. He won't see it, but you have to give him an intro.
And Josh, the man who saw me twice when I went to his fair state, who came to see me, drove all the way to see me. We had a great breakfast at Wolf's, which was a really good breakfast place.
So good that he didn't show up for the next podcast. So he met you in real life and he decided it's not worth it anymore.
I will say that, I understand that after that breakfast, needing a couple of weeks to digest.
A couple of weeks to just, get away from you.
Lay on your belly and hope that helps the digestion process. That was a good breakfast.
And of course, speaking is George below. And George were you here last week? Where have you've been all over?
I have been.
You were at the National last week.
I was.
Yeah, we made a lot of George isn't dead jokes because
I appreciated that because nobody texted me, said I heard you died.
Yeah.
Or I heard you have a terminal illness.
We made a lot of jokes about it.
I want to talk about the National.
We think we will have Josh here at some point. There were some time zone issues, we think.
How can neither one of you understand basic time zones?
Listen, I don't know. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm here on time. You're here on time.
You got it wrong.
The third person on the podcast isn't here on time. We'll let the viewers decide whose fault it is.
You got it wrong the entire time we talked today. It's amazing.
Not in the text.
It's amazing.
Let's talk about what we're going to talk about. I can't promise you that this is going to be the order.
This will definitely not be what we're going to talk about. Don't even bother writing this down if you're taking notes at home. Continue.
We're going to talk about Commander Tanksters. That's what I'm calling them. We're going to talk about the precons. I think we're going to talk about those two things when Josh shows up. We're going to talk about the $2.6 million sale of not the Black Lotus, the One Ring to Posty. We're going to talk about Throne of Eldraine. I think we'll wait till Josh is back on that one too. We'll talk about Gen Con. We're going to talk about MetaZoo. We can talk about that one with you.
We're going to make a bunch of Yo Mama jokes with each other for the next hour and hope that Josh shows up and explains Magic the Gathering to us.
All right, let's go straight into the Posty sale.
Yo Mama is so fat that when she sits around the house, she sits around the house.
Okay, so let's talk about the $2.6 million sale. This is at least twice the highest offer was
the crazy Italian company had that 2 million euro.
It was somewhere I'm pretty sure it wasn't Italian. Pretty sure it was in South America.
I don't think that's true. I think it was Europe.
I don't think so.
All right, put in the comment section below who's right.
One of us
Josh,
is right.
Put in the comment section.
You might be closer, I guess. I thought it was Brazil or something.
I thought it was Rome.
Definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't Italy because I would have made lots of I'm Italian jokes about, bringing the One Ring to my heritage or something like that. I feel like I would have done that.
What would that joke have looked like?
I don't know. Something like, it's a me. I've got the money. Something like that. You know what I mean? Some sort of Mario themed joke. I don't know. Lots of money.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm really glad it wasn't Italian now.
But you brought it up. So here we go.
It's a me, the guy who regrets it.
It's the me. Okay, Posty $2.6 million. That's at least $0.6 million more.
If there's no conversion rate between euros and dollars, that's correct. It's
definitely
euros.
Are you at all surprised that Post Malone bought this?
I'm a little surprised. Listen, the big winner in this is WotC. WotC is the huge winner in this.
Why?
Well, you get a ton of press. You're going to get a ton of free press. And he is probably the only collector that will actually have it and use it and bring it out on his Magic nights and show it around. He will absolutely enter stage one night wearing this around his neck like Logan Paul did with the Charizard.
He is the only buyer, I think, like David Adams Card World. you knew that it was going to get sold, right? Like you knew that they weren't no offense to Dave and Adam's Card World, but they're a game store. They're not Post Malone. Well, like they have an
Dave
intent.
and Adams is a big deal,
right? But they have an intent to sell. The idea is like $1 million is too cheap. We'll make 500,000 off of it somehow with the hype, whatever. I think like the cool thing about Posty is like he's gonna have this forever. You know what I mean? Like I could see him maybe trading for something or whatever in the future, but I don't know. Let's say like some other one of one comes out that he wants more. So all right, here's the crazy thing. Somebody sent me a link or it wasn't a link. It was just like it was earlier in June or earlier in January. Somebody did like the Post Malone. What's his net worth? He spent 0.6 or he spent 6% of his net worth on the ring.
I don't believe that.
His net worth is 45 million.
According to the internet.
Yeah, it was like an article. It was like a.
Okay.
I don't remember the source.
It was an article.
It was like that graph. It was like the same company that made that graph.
That made the Pokemon graphic shows Yu-Gi-Oh sells more cards.
But 0.6% of his.
I don't believe that,
network.
but I mean, like, listen, like, I don't know, like, I think that's about the right number. I thought, honestly, it might be a little low. Like, I mean, like,
who's gonna buy it for more than 2.6?
I don't know, but I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not in that world, but like, I imagine there's big whales that could.
I don't know why they wouldn't have come forward earlier.
I mean, like, I think there's a question of like, the card is now worth more because Post Malone has it. Like, the worst case scenario for WotC in the card was it ends up in some fat cat jerk safe, never to be seen again for 30 years, and it just goes down to worthless.
Yeah.
Like, I think like now the card will have more value because it will be front and center in Magic history for a very long time.
That's fair. He also has a new album that dropped today. So his name, or not today,
is that true?
I think it was this week. So
I only know
Thursday.
I don't know Posty that well, I'll be honest.
So like his name's in the hype cycles right now too, which like I thought the timing on that was pretty interesting.
I mean, like this is like WotC got very lucky here.
Yeah.
Like this was a real this is the absolute best case scenario for WotC.
Or is it all set up?
Who would set this up?
I don't know.
Can we talk about the guy giving to Posty in like the white tank top?
Dude, yeah,
that dude gets it.
Well, like I think about like the life-changing money that $2.6 million is for somebody.
Well, it's Canada, so probably like 80% goes to taxes and maple syrup. So like I hope he enjoys his $200,000.
Maybe they can buy a good hockey team with it.
Oh my god, no. We are not discussing hockey.
Okay, does this coincide at all? I think this is maybe a good transition to the Bank of America change into a
what happened? I wonder.
Hasbro.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, Lord of the Rings was a huge success. Is anybody?
Yeah, that's why. They project based on the last set. That's a good call.
That's what they quoted. They quoted in the article.
They quoted Universes Beyond, including Lord of the Rings. It shows that they're becoming IP centric.
Well, somebody's IP centric, not their own. But so does this weigh into that at all?
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I'm going to talk a lot about my experience at the National a little bit later, but like WotC has to find a way to break into the popular culture, and like Post Malone is quite easily the best way to do that. Like, unless you want to, sponsor Tay-Tay's concert, obviously. That'd be an amazing thing. I mean, like, I know everybody was talking about Jesus.
I can't imagine a thing that doesn't fit more. Maybe Dungeons and Dragons.
I love both.
I love both. More.
I love Tay-Tay music. I love WotC.
Like, if you went to a Tay-Tay concert and we're like, hey, does anybody play Magic the Gathering?
There'd be a line.
Nobody.
Did you hear that she gave her trucker drivers $100,000 bonus?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Gave $5 million in bonus money. That's the way Tay-Tay does it. Good job, Tay-Tay. We're proud of you. like I'm sure you guys talked about the Cheez-Its thing last week. Is that right?
We did not. It's amazing when you're not here. We actually have conversation about like the game, and
that's why nobody listens when I'm not here. That makes more sense now. Thank you for clearing that up. So WotC sponsored Cheez-Its, and a lot of people were making fun of that. I think that was fine. I think it's like weird, but it's not a big deal to me. WotC has to find a way to become front and center in pop culture, because if not, like, that is their big weakness. Like, that is clearly where other games are trying to attack them, and so like they need to find a way to shore that up. And I think Post Malone's the best example to do that. Best way to do that.
Post Malone is a great. I agree with that. Like, Post Malone is a great entry point into
I should add, I know nothing about Post Malone, so if he's some terrible dude, would you guys let me know in the comments?
He's not. Like, one I was reading in that article I was reading, it was talking about why is he so successful, and one of the things that it was saying was like he's just like a normal guy, other than like the face tattoos, but like he comes across as like a normal guy, and that's why people like him. And I think that
to 1 million viewers on the podcast, we should all agree to get face tattoos.
1 million viewers or 1 million views?
Million viewers.
We're probably close to 1 million views.
No, viewers. I want consecutive viewers of May the Zoo be with you.
I'm in. I'll get a face tattoo of your face.
Wow, you'll get way prettier. You're gonna get. They'll be like, "Wow, who's the good-looking guy?"
Okay. Let's transition and talk about
God, the hardest transitions. I forgot about this last week.
So, how are you feeling about Commander Masters?
I thought we were talking about the Bank of America thing.
Oh, I thought we just did. What else do you want to say?
We didn't discuss it at all.
All right, you discuss it.
So I know that there were some fudders on this podcast and elsewhere that were making a big deal of the downgrade of the Hasbro stock. And I remember saying at the time that, like, who the hell cares? And like, that's still kind of my position. Who the hell cares? They got upgraded. Bank of America upgraded the stock today. It reacted a little bit in that it didn't go down as much as the rest of the market went down than today. Today is Wednesday, by the way. I tend to think that like WotC still needs to separate from Hasbro to help their stock price. Like, I still think this is not a.
Doesn't that just kill Hasbro stock?
Well, you get WotC stock though. You'll get both stocks.
Yeah, but like for the company Hasbro, doesn't that just instantly kind of?
I mean, like
they are in the hole so much.
They have to figure that out. Like, if you can't find a way to make it work without WotC, you're not a company. Then you don't deserve to live. Like, this isn't that hard. Like, that's the way the market works. If you can't, if your whole thing is I own IPs and nobody wants your IP, you're out of luck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to find a way to make your IPs relevant. And if they can't do that, then Hasbro shouldn't exist without WotC. I tend to think they would be able to. I tend to think there's enough nostalgia for G.I. Joe and all these other ones that, like, people would want it. Don't give me that look. I know you love Logan Paul. Logan Paul loves G.I. Joe cards.
There's zero nostalgia for G.I. Joe.
That's because you're young. That's because you're 8 years old.
Like, I don't think that's true. I don't know. What is the nostalgia for G.I. Joe?
That's what I played with when I was a kid.
You played with what? The toys?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not true. I don't know, man. I don't know that, like, there's not like a really great movie or anything like that.
There were a ton of great movies. There was, like, come on, man. Like, the commercials were like
my generation has zero nostalgia to G.I. Joe other than like I remember playing with the figures, like in the bath. Like, that's my nostalgia. So like the equivalent of like a bath toy.
Those G.I. Joes have seen some things. Like, I love G.I. Joe.
Okay.
People like
name another Hasbro IP.
Don't they own
Exactly.
I don't know who owns these IPs.
Don't they
I'm pulling it up. They own Furby. Not great. Not great Furby. They own My Little Pony. They own Nerf. They own like Transformers.
But okay, so if
they own Play-Doh, they own Monopoly.
Play-Doh's a great one.
They own Baby Alive. Don't like that one. That ain't good. They own Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig's probably good. But okay, then why aren't they generating any other revenue with them?
That's not the argument. The argument is that IPs trade at a smaller multiple than trading card games would. So if you separate them out, the Hasbro multiple would stay the same. But the WotC multiple would be much higher. So you would get increased value for no increased risk.
Okay, because you would end up with the WotC stock on one side, and
right?
then the Hasbro stock's able to grow as it should, maybe without the volatility.
That's part of it. Part of it is that I think that they would do better separate because Hasbro would have to figure this out in real time.
It would force them to actually have to do something.
But the other part of this, what they mean by multiple, is stocks trade as either a multiple, so earnings times X divided by number of outstanding shares, or revenue times X divided by number of outstanding shares. So that's what they say when they say multiples. And IP multiples tend to be less than TCG multiples is the thought. So we would see right now they're saying that WotC, with their incredible profit and incredible revenue, is not trading at the correct price because it's trading at the same multiples as Hasbro's other assets when they should be getting a much higher valuation.
Gotcha.
So they're saying it's already worth more than the market thinks it is. That's their argument.
So, but what needs to happen for them to pull the trigger on something like that? Who needs to put the pressure on? Because certainly the market put the pressure on 6 months ago.
I mean, shareholders have to. But it has to be real shareholders. It can't be dingbats with 100 shares. It has to be institutional investors have to say you should split.
And they have to understand the difference of Wizards of the Coast business model.
Yeah, and I don't think that's hard. I think that part's relatively easy. I think the biggest problem is that it's just not valuable. It's not that valuable of a company. That's the biggest problem. It's just not that valuable of a company. So institutional investors are very, very busy. And so they're just I don't have time to deal with this.
Mm.
If you're Vanguard, this is not something that you wake up and think about.
Right. Just us.
Yeah, just like idiots on a podcast with 4 listeners. Shout out.
Interesting. It seems like a very important thing for Magic the Gathering that Wizards and Hasbro get this figured out in the next couple of years. We have seen so much pressure from the Magic side of things that Hasbro doesn't understand how to run the Wiz. At some point, I feel like the players and collectors of Magic just get frustrated and they just exit.
I don't think that's true. We have not seen that.
I don't think that's true. We've certainly seen
sales are up. They had a record-breaking year last year. They just had the best record sales ever. There's no evidence to support that they're losing people. None.
So what do you say to the reserve list stuff being down?
That's WotC shouldn't care. Unless WotC's producing those cards, that's up to the market.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that WotC sold more last year than any year before.
Do you think there are more players of Magic the Gathering now?
Absolutely. Than ever before.
I tend to think that when people are currently talking about the reserve list, they include high sales period of the pandemic.
Yeah, of course.
And I think if you remove the pandemic, things look far less dire on the secondary market side of collectible Magic.
So as you know, I was at the National last week, and it was wild to see the hangover effect of COVID at the National.
Mm.
My favorite example of this, I'm going to get the numbers wrong, so I apologize, but a Serena Williams rookie card during the pandemic, I believe went for $10,000-ish. I know it was thousands. I thought it was 10, might be 2. It was thousands of dollars. They were all over the place for $250.
Jeez.
I mean, and nobody was buying. They were sitting. I mean, that was never a card that you would have thought, I got to grade, I got to get out there, I got to do these things, except for this wild time in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
like the hangover effect of COVID was clearly felt. They had tons and tons and tons of bins full of PSA graded base rookie cards that have been overprinted to the high heavens the last few years. Nobody was buying those.
Right.
You know, I think like the COVID hangover is still here.
Yeah. I mean, I think people got stuck with bags that just they won't move. Like we know this.
Are you in my house right now?
I mean, we know this.
Are you in my house right now?
Like frankly, I have things that in the pandemic would have sold in 30 seconds. That just are nobody wants, nobody cares. Everybody has other things. It's like the world opened back up and nobody else is looking. And like, so I think the money that was made in the pandemic, like, got made by people who saw it for what it was, and the money that was lost was like people who thought that it was going to generate actual interest, and the interest that was generated in collectible TCGs in that window was like boredom that no longer exists.
Yeah, I mean, it was also reminded of like just how small our industry is, right? There were 100,000 people at the National.
Mm-hmm. How many vendors were there for Pokemon Magic? Like what percentage?
So this was interesting.
Yeah,
I would say in between 3% ish, maybe 2 to 3% ish of vendors there were for Pokemon. And I meant they have Pokemon.
They were there for Pokemon? Or?
No, I would say that was like 1%, but like 2 to 3 had, I would say they were selling Pokemon. They didn't like, you know, have a card in the back. That doesn't count. Not much Magic, more MetaZoo than Magic. There was a lot more MetaZoo than Magic. I must admit, that surprised me.
I see, that doesn't surprise me because that's the group of people that was interested in the pandemic. Like we talked about the prices that you were seeing. It was ridiculous. It was pandemic prices on things that were
I mean, now you've got sides of the coin.
You've got Card Shop Live today dropping $60 Nightfall boxes again. $200
Mike, buy back that stock, my guy.
$200 CN1 boxes. Like
buy back that stock too. I mean, like it was funny because you could tell the vendors that were trying to keep the COVID prices alive and who had just like totally given up on everything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was taught, you know, for pretty obvious reasons, I personally collect some like Lou Gehrig cards.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, I went to one vendor and I like game worn things. And this one vendor had a game worn piece of jersey card. I was like, oh, like how much is the Gehrig game worn jersey card? He said $20,000. And I said, that seems high, but like, I don't know. Let me walk around. I got basically the exact same card from another vendor for $250.
That's insane.
Like, I'm like, dude, like that's over. Like that's over. Like that's totally over.
Yeah.
Like, and like that's how I think we gotta treat TCGs. It's just like it's not coming back to that. Like the you know, the moon days are gone.
Yeah.
Unless you're sorcery. And then you just will never, ever, ever see anything but moons.
Is that why you asked me what the box prices of sorcery were this week?
I thought they were over $1,000. What happened? What'd you do when I was gone?
There was a retracement. It was
what happened?
There was only a couple boxes that sold for $1,000 on eBay. And then
I leave the podcast and sorcery prices go down 20%. I apologize to the sorcery community. It will not happen again.
They didn't go down. The high sales.
They were at 1,000. Now they're 800. I'm not great at math.
There was no volume at the $1,000 sales.
So some sold 1,000.
There are some cases that have been selling for like $5,500 to $6,000, which is about $1,000 box. But all right, we need to transition. We're hard cutting. Josh is no longer going to be with us. So let's talk about Commander Masters.
I guess missed the whole.
We're in it, baby.
Missed the whole conversation you two bozos had.
We're in. Let's go.
I thought you were just being a really bad content creator. No, you were. No. You were talking with Josh.
Commander Masters. I'm calling it Commander Tanksters, but I don't actually feel that way. I was just saying I don't actually feel that way.
All right, good.
So, how are you feeling as a store owner about $191 collector boxes.
Well, what I've learned from my co-host is if you sell a box for more than in your store, everything's totally fine and TCG price doesn't matter.
No, but like, okay, come on.
What was that?
What do you how do you feel about $191 collector boxes?
Bad. I don't think it was. I mean, like,
really,
like, my confidence is unwavering.
You feel bad about the 191 collector boxes?
It doesn't make you feel happy. Like, I'm not throwing out the party balloons at 191. Are you?
I mean, I'm not excited about them at 191, but I think that's a decent price on TCG Player for right now.
What's our cost?
I can't say that, and you know that. But
oh my god, put it in chat.
This is after fees and shipping. A store is losing about $5 at 100.
Oh, so it's like better than Pokemon.
That's not true. I lied. Never mind. They're losing to almost $20.
That's still better than Pokemon. That is basically true. Oh, did you order your Scarlet and Violet restock that they just got? By the way,
no, of course not.
Did you? How many cases did you get?
Can we talk about Commander Masters, please?
Oh, okay.
Josh, you've abandoned me. Josh, you've abandoned me in my time of need.
I still have confidence in the set, and I will go down with the ship. And I want everybody to know I'm ready to do so.
I feel way better about collector boxes at 191 than I do about set boxes at 337.
That's
337. This is really bad for stores. Really.
Wow. You really were struggling to find the words on that one. Wow. And then the words we found were really bad.
After fees and shipping.
Your fees are always horrific.
No, 15% on TCG Player puts us at $286 that a store walks away from. We are recording on Wednesday, releases on Friday, which means add another $10 on that for shipping. Stores are getting $276 a box, which is stores losing $50 a box roughly. That's not good.
I have confidence. I think it'll turn around. I do.
I don't think I see set boxes turn around.
I think it'll turn around.
So my solution, I don't know. I'm sure your solution is just put it all on the back, and it will all sell to my in the store.
I just gotta wait. I'm patient.
And you don't actually care because it doesn't matter to you. But for those of us who do care about our cash flow and do need cash flow for an actual,
you guys should open an arcade
business.
Have you guys thought about that? Opening the arcade is way easier and way more profitable.
Yeah, I'm sure. I opened all my set boxes other than 8 boxes that I'll keep for in store.
You're only gonna sell 8 boxes in store, you think?
Like 8 like actual boxes, like sealed boxes. Oh yeah, I want some more than 8 boxes in store.
Really?
No way. Not in the physical store. Not of this. It's
really?
Ridiculous. Who's got $360 to spend on what is already singles prices are already going down. Also, some boxes. I actually think set boxes.
All right. Whoever had single prices going down on release weekend on your Louis bingo card, you can cross off the free space.
Okay, so we'll get to singles prices.
Oh yeah, let me guess. They're going down the closer you get to release day.
It's not about them going down. I actually listen. I'm in this. So, but I want to talk about set boxes. I actually think set boxes are the best way to open product right now.
Of course.
Like, people don't understand how you only get like 4 mythics in a collector box.
Right.
It's insane. Like in a collector box, you're only
my collector box. You know this. I opened a collector box. I had like 1 good card.
Yeah.
Now that good card paid for the box.
It's hit or completely strike out and miss. You hit a texture card, which is like one every. I don't know. In my I think I pulled 4 in 14 boxes.
Oh, it's not 1 per box?
No, I told you this.
I thought you were just lying to me. That's always my
I pulled 4 in 14 boxes.
Really? It's that rare?
Yeah. Yeah. And the prices on some of them are already under $100. Like I sold an Omnath one for $80.
Is Omnath in this?
Yeah. Omnath, Locus, and Mana. It's like free.
Oh, it's not the good. It's not the broken Omnath.
It's not the good Omnath.
Boo. That's the problem. They need some broken Omnath in this piece.
So the flip side of this is that the collector box is way cheaper. So I think this is actually going to be negative for the collector product, the cards in the box as a whole, because I actually think more people will just say, all right, I'm gonna spend $200 or whatever on a collector box, crack it open, and then be done with it if I wanted to enjoy the set, because then they have the shot at like the full Monty Jeweled Lotus and the textured stuff that, like, you know, whatever. It's the he's calling me again. It's the it's the expense of the set box that I think prevents people from buying the set box. And so more collector boxes will get opened, so the higher value cards are going to go down, whereas the regular version of the cards, this is already happening, like the regular version is as much as the borderless version, or the
really,
yeah, it's already, like, I'm already seeing it in my orders.
I mean, like, we talked about this before, like, I thought they were gonna do something crazy in the list slot. They didn't. Like, and it feels like for that price they probably should have. It feels like if you want to have a $400 collector box, or $400 set box, the list needed to be pretty spicy.
Cyclonic Rift is $17.
Really?
This was a $45 card. Deadly Rollick, another $45 card. The borderless version is $15.
I will warn this. Like, this tends to happen with master sets. People overcorrect.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And so I'm running into, like, Jeweled Lotus holding up pretty good, $63. I feel pretty good about that one.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That's the most expensive non-foil card, obviously. I'm finding the second one. It drops pretty significantly. Crater Hoof has completely, doubling season is at 45. It dropped a little bit below that and it's already kind of balanced out at 45. But doubling season, they put in Wilds of Eldraine. So before
I saw that.
But
before,
before release, they announced that the card is in a set that's next.
I don't care about that. I want to give a big shout out to is it the same dinosaur art?
No, I think it's different art. It's the
that's disappointing. That's some of my favorite art in Magic the Gathering is the doubling season dinosaur art.
Is it?
I like that.
I like
whimsical art.
I'm actually surprised at how high doubling season has stayed even with that announcement.
Oh, it's a staple, right? Like that's what people need.
I think people maybe didn't know that it was reprinted again. That's like, I think most of the people who are buying it don't know that. I know it's a staple, but it's going to be in a standard set. Doubling season,
that's made it to be exclusive,
and then it gets pretty rough. Like it drops down pretty bad.
That's pretty normal, right? There's there's 5 or 6 really high value cards, and it falls off.
I don't know, man. This is singles have been really, really dropping.
But they've also been flying.
They have been flying.
I think the volume is astronomical.
Yeah. And we did, like, we've shipped out 450 orders today.
Yeah, I mean, like, people want the cards
over 2.5 days. It's interesting. I think, like, the price point of the set pushes things to people to buy singles. I don't think it holds, though. Like, I don't see Commander Masters. Distro still has a lot of it. I think we're gonna look back on this in 6 months, and this is gonna be, and we were all wrong if that's the case.
Will you get to, like, what it is? You're just like what
price?
We will look back at this in 6 months. What a cliffhanger. So what will we say in 6 months?
If this follows Baldur's Gate.
Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it.
I don't think
stop it. Stop it.
So listen.
Stop. If this follows Baldur's Gate.
So the problem is it's more expensive than Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. That's not the problem, but keep going.
The ceiling for it to, or the floor for it to fall is lower.
It's not Baldur's Gate.
What do you?
Baldur's Gate.
You said $500.
Baldur's Gate. I couldn't give away.
That's right.
I will never forget my store manager calling me on, like, Baldur's Gate release week, being like, "So there's like 6 players here," and me being like, "Not great." like the store will be packed on Friday. There will be people ribbing.
Yeah, my
like this is not Baldur's Gate. Stop.
But the drop in price could be similar.
It won't be.
I don't know, man. What do you think the bottom is for a set box? They're at 337 right now on Wednesday before.
In what time frame?
In 6 months.
I mean, like 300.
That's as bad as Baldur's Gate.
No, it's not. What was Baldur's Gate at 6 months after release?
I have no clue.
Okay, good. Gosh, where are you?
Currently at 200 for the collector boxes.
That's not bad. That's not crazy.
That is. I think Rudy talked about in a video today. Distro pricing. I think that's $40 under distro price, and then fees and like that would be worse. $300 would be worse, number of dollars wise than.
That's true. If you only look at raw dollars and never look at percentages, you're right.
Percentages would be relatively close, but so we got this wrong.
And did Baldur's Gate go way lower than that at some point? I thought it was like basically the free.
I think it was like 165 was the low.
That's my point. Like that's what I don't think you'll see here. I don't think you'll see this like absolute cratering
because there is a demand for the singles.
Yeah, I mean like.
So, what was I going to ask you?
Who knows? What a percentage is?
What is a percentage?
All right, can we get to the only part that people care about since we have a half hour left?
Yeah.
Mano a mano this weekend.
Oh, we're not going to talk. We got to talk about the precons. We got to talk about the precons for.
Nobody cares about that. You do know that, right? Like I'm talking about you. Who?
We played the precons last night.
Nobody cares.
The Eldrazi deck got stomped all the games.
Yep.
The Sliver deck hardly did anything. The enchantment and the Planeswalker deck, the Planeswalker deck wrecked.
Yeah.
People bought the wrong decks.
This weekend. Mano a mano. My hopes and dreams versus Louis' hopes and dreams. Lorcana versus sorcery. Gen Con, Royal Rumble. We're not going to be there, but you might be. Louis, what do you expect from the greatest battle of our generation, Lorcana versus sorcery?
I think that nobody on the sorcery team and nobody on the Lorcana team cares about the other one. That's what I think.
That's why we got to do their work for them. We're the hype men. We're the hype men. We are the carnival barkers. By the way, my favorite Magic the Gathering card ever.
Carnival barkers?
Yeah.
Is that
one in the Infinity set?
Oh, Infinity. I remember you liking the artwork on that.
One of my friends got me the book Barnum about Barnum and Bailey. Not gonna lie, wish I hadn't read it. He might not have been a Nobel worthy candidate.
Really?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Doesn't make me less sad. I bought them. I'm not gonna get into the books I'm reading. Go ahead.
So I think Gen Con, I think the reason we want to talk about this is that Gen Con is massive for both of these games. This will be for a lot of people, this will be the first entryway into seeing sorcery. I think for sorcery, this is probably true. Like sorcery is really large in the tiny sorcery community. Like people have really high hopes and are really excited for it in the community that watches Rudy's videos and follows Kickstarter games. Like that's it, right? Like that's the size of the community. Gen Con is where they reach people who aren't what?
We have found our difference on Lorcana.
Yeah.
It's Disney fans.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like I think the win for sorcery is that they have an opportunity to grow their game outside of who looks at online TCG content.
This is a much bigger event for sorcery than it is for Lorcana.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like Lorcana will have the bigger line, it will have all the headlines, it will be the winner. But
they're doing some sort of special release.
Listen, I think I've shown I love Lorcana. Doing the boxes at Gen Con is setting yourself up for a problem.
Yeah.
like I hope they have security.
When's the official release?
We get our boxes in like 2 weeks.
That's
maybe
crazy.
2.5 weeks. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The boxes didn't go nuts.
Yeah.
The ones from Gen Con.
Yeah.
Louis, you have a job.
Don't let you buy them?
Do not let me buy these boxes.
I'm not gonna. So George calls me all the time. He's like, Louis, should I buy this? And my answer is almost always no. almost
Charizard.
Almost every time he's ever called me, it's been no. And then what happens, George?
I always buy it.
You always buy. And then so that was 2 years ago. And now when he says, should I buy it? I just say, yeah, of course you should.
I'm gonna buy a Lorcana box.
You were gonna buy your NFT. What was it? The monkey thing. The
NFTs are so dead.
Did you buy it when I told you to? Because I was 100% trying to scam you, just like the NFT people.
This all follows. This all follows entirely. I don't know.
So what's the win then for Lorcana? Because I think the win for sorcery is introducing the game to a wider audience. That's not.
So the win for Lorcana is people leave talking about gameplay. If people leave and aren't like, oh baby, I got a secret rare, Tendy's town is my town. If they don't do the crypto bros of TCG stuff, I'm not naming names. Like if they don't do those things and they talk about how good the gameplay is, that's a huge win for Lorcana.
Do you want to start an over-under bids with our comment section on if that's the way that this goes? Because I can promise you it's not going to go that way.
I'm not. I mean, like, listen, like, if like that's their win, that is the victory flag condition for Lorcana. Now, I think you can have less of a full victory, right? If people believe like that was the best box opening experience I ever had.
Yeah,
like I'm sure it will be yours in a couple months. Like that. Cryptic, Genesis, Sorcery, Lorcana. It's next. Like if that's the big thing, it was a great boxing experience. I think that's fine. I want people to tell me the game is good, the game is balanced.
Oh,
that's what
no one's gonna know if it's balanced or not yet. So
that's not true. I mean,
there's already people who are
lining up.
Well, yeah, sure, but they are already playing the decks. There's like a whole Discord server for Lorcana that people are playing with all the cards.
You ready for this? I might play it.
I've heard that before with like 14 other games.
I have played 3 games.
I've heard it before. I have
played 3 games. I have played the most games of 1 game.
Your best friend Donald's really excited to play Lorcana.
I'm out.
he's all in. He's been following the Discord and like they put out an app and he downloaded the app and built decks.
The app is amazing. Have you used the app? The app is amazing.
I don't think that Lorcana walks away from Gen Con with that attitude, though, like with that conversation, because like the boxes are going to be too hard to get. And I think, honestly, frankly,
no, but they have the tournaments. They have tournaments.
Yeah, but like, that a lot of people are going to go to that tournament. They're going to play in the games. They don't care. Oh, they're not even paying attention. They just want the cards to take them home and sell on eBay. Like, and the same thing is true for the release with game stores. Like, they didn't put out enough boxes. Boxes are going to be too expensive.
Have you got your Wave 2 allocations yet?
No.
Wave 2 allocations are a lot better.
And I heard they were. I may have gotten them. I just might not know about them. I heard they are about the same.
No.
Are they more?
Way more.
Okay.
And they come out like right after release, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's good.
So again, I would not go nuts on this. I think box prices could go crazy. Don't go nuts.
Yeah, I agree. Sorcery, I think, is in a weird spot because beta's not out yet, and I think their team probably wanted beta to be out before Gen Con. I think that was probably one of the things they would have liked to see initially. Because like, what do you give people who play the game and like it? Like, where do you put them and what do you tell them to do? You tell them to go find an LGS and tell them to pre-order it. Like, we know how that works.
I agree. Like, for me, it's sorcery when. Look, I think it's the same victory condition, candidly. People come away and aren't like, damn, I got a Curiosa to the moon I go, son. It is, I like the game. And like, listen, like, shout out to Mike from Mean Mugging Games. That was my reaction when I played it.
Right.
Like, I want cold chicken fingers to be eaten from people if they like the game. Like, that was my reaction to the game. Like, I know people think I'm the sorcery hater, but like, go back and look. Like, it was like, I remember playing the game and being like, oh, like, my wife and I like to play board games. I could 100% see us playing sorcery. It's the only game I could see us playing for TCGs. Like, because it's a board game.
Right. It's not, but it kind of
is. It's absolutely a board game. And board games are better. They should just embrace it because board games are better than TCGs.
It feels like a board game. The gameplay does. Especially if you're playing the precons. But when you get into deck building, it opens up.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, like, the big take, like sorcery's victory condition for me, if they can walk away and say like, I had a great weekend, it's twofold. I want people who don't know sorcery going to Gen Con to leave knowing what sorcery is and what it's about. And I want people to walk away eating cold chicken fingers and saying that was a good gameplay experience.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, that's what it means for sorcery to live their best life.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I know they're sending Simon, which is like, I think right away a good sign. Yeah. Like right away. Like that's Simon, like, I said this before, like Simon and Chris, the two best people in TCGs I know.
Yeah.
And so like, you're going to start off on third base sending Simon.
Yeah. I think
friend of the show, Simon, by the way.
Friend of the show. Previous co-host of the show, Simon. I guess he's not a host, but anyway, I think walking away, I think the odds of people walking away like that for sorcery are higher than Lorcana simply because they don't have product to give people. Like, you're not going to see people walk away being like, oh, look at the $1,000 box that I got at Gen Con, because they don't have boxes for people at Gen Con. So I think that the odds of that are pretty high that it's gameplay focused, at least for Gen Con, because they don't have the instant tendy product that Lorcana does.
And that's good. I think that's good. Like if neither sorcery nor Lorcana will survive on collectability. They have to survive on gameplay. Yeah. If the game sucks, the games will die the death they deserve.
Yep. I agree.
Like if the game is good, they'll be fine.
I think there has to be more than that, but
I do too. But like that's the necessary but not sufficient condition. But it is necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
And like, listen, like we know sorcery, right? We know sorcery is a good game.
Yeah.
The question is like, can they get people playing it?
Yeah,
that's the question.
I think what I would like to see from the team, and I'm not going to be at Gen Con, but if I would like to see the event happen, which is already happening. I think it's been sold out for a couple months, like the actual tournament, and then some sort of learn to play booth where you can just come up and show up and somebody will literally walk you through a couple turns to play. But then
V-Friends had at the national.
V-Friends had that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Shout out to Matt Kalish.
Gary V, the designer of the game.
I know, but Matt used to watch the podcast, so shout out to
maybe him. He still does.
Shout out to you, Matt. Let us know if you're still watching. I think for sorcery, I'd like them to send something for people to go to. So like they have the gameplay footage on their YouTube channel. Hey, go watch this. Yeah. Go watch it. And then they also on the website, like you got to give them credit. Like they have the whole LGS recommendation sheet, which I think is also a really good thing. So at least there's a tangible way for people to take
what
that.
They can for LGSs. Yeah. I think I will give them that. Like they are like, you get the promo kit, like, they're doing what they can for LGSs. They deserve a lot of credit for that. And like the margins are insane.
Yeah. It's really good.
I want this from sorcery. I want Simon to give out your 50th box opening video.
I already opened it.
That's what I'm saying. I want to give out the link. The link.
No, see, I think they need to be giving out gameplay.
So it's like only their YouTube channel? Like, no, they need other content creators.
I have gameplay on my channel too.
You have those 4 views won't help them, Louis. They need real views on this.
I get more views on my sorcery gameplay than my magic gameplay.
That's because nobody watches any gameplay. Is there anything worse than watching a TCG on YouTube, gameplay wise?
There's not. I don't know why even.
Like I watch StarCraft games on my computer.
This is why games need digital clients.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Because you'll watch people play that because of the animation and stuff. This is why Magic moved to now they moved back, but they moved to animation, or they moved to Arena for their events, because it was easier to broadcast, it was easier to show, it was more engaging for viewers and eyeballs. Now they moved back though.
Yeah.
I think they need to move. I think they need, if any of these TCGs want to succeed, I think they need to go back to the 90s Magic videos, which was like, hey, let's play on a beach and there's like girls in the background. And yeah, like that's what people want to see is beach Magic. Like the guys were all buff and like had the surfer hair. Like
Do I have the surfer hair?
Instead, it's all people who look like me playing in like rooms that probably smell. You know what I mean?
Like your room probably does.
Yeah. Like, you know, these TCGs need to go back to the 90s. Have some, I don't know, 90s music playing on the beach.
Ice, ice, baby. Bum, bum,
That
bum.
doesn't make any beach sense. You can't play Ice.
They
Ice
were
Baby.
Definitely playing Ice Ice Baby at the beach. It's not like it was like a like.
I don't know. I wasn't
The
alive.
song was everywhere. They need some Michael Jackson.
I wasn't alive back then.
Oh God, is that true?
Yeah. Shout out to all of you who are at Gen Con. Leave a comment in the comment section at Gen Con if you're like, oh, that was really cool. Hop on this video and leave in the comment section and tell us what was really cool about Gen Con down below. What your walk away, what your favorite part of Gen Con is. They're going to be listening as they walk in the door.
Go to the Lorcana stand and buy me a box.
Sell it to me. I saw that hotels were canceling people's reservations. And
really?
Sold out. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, like, this is a hot Gen Con.
Yep.
Like, Lorcana changes everything. Lorcana changes everything.
I wish we would have gone.
Like, Lorcana, like,
we should have done a live from Gen Con. May the Zoo.
So you ready for this? I think I have to go to Disney on release day for Lorcana.
What are they giving out?
Oh no, it's like a meeting thing.
Oh, you should definitely do a live stream from. You should do
it with my phone.
Yeah, you should do a live.
Whoa! Welcome to Walt Disney World, America's most favorite castle.
Will you do a live? You should do a live box opening on release day.
You won't have boxes.
Castle. Yes, you will. You're gonna buy one right now. You're gonna buy one right now.
Oh, I should do that.
Yeah, you can do it on my channel. I'll let you do it on my channel if you want.
I don't know how to do that. You know that, right? I'm just gonna film it and send it to you, right?
No, you gotta go live.
I have no idea how to do that.
You log in and you hit the live button. It's really not that hard. It would also be better content watching you try to figure it out than it would be
by a mile. By a mile. I won't know what any of the cards do. I'm like, I think this is one of the foils I read about. Louis, is this the best box opening experience I've ever had? Let me fold one.
All right. Speaking about folding them, let's real quick talk about Cryptic, and talk about the eBay box.
I don't want. This was not on the approved topic list. This was not on the topic list.
All right, we'll save it till when they ever announce something for LGSs. The solution for that.
Do not get me started. Like, I do not want to get started on the eBay boxes. Do not do that to me. I've already been banned from one game because of this podcast. That is how I get two.
I mean, like, what are they doing?
Screwing over. No, you almost did it. You almost trapped me.
I talked to a lot of people who are just like, what is happening?
Like, what is happening?
What is happening? Why there's not a real announcement from Cryptic. It's like out on eBay, and then it's like, what is happening?
Who in the hell is gonna buy a Wicked Prophecy box from the LGS? The not tournament legal cards.
Yeah. When there's an
eBay box that is tournament legal. Who's buying the box from your LGS?
I think what's happening is that they are working behind the scenes on a solution and that they haven't announced the solution yet.
Enough.
I think they need to announce the solution before they put out the eBay. They need to
make this right. Like the market's in the dumps.
Yeah, it's the market doesn't exist.
Like,
and the dumps would mean that it exists. And
like, this is so frustrating because these were all self-inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these were just screw ups that could have, frankly, relatively easily been avoided.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk about that more when it gets officially announced, but I wanted to mention it because I know people are asking for us.
Nobody should ask about that. Like,
it's hard for us to talk about because nothing's been officially announced. So like we are in limbo on what is happening from an LGS perspective. Because
are we?
Yeah, we are, because we know that they did a survey that's like, hey, tell us your thoughts. And we all know that everybody gave them their thoughts because everybody has said to me, Louis, did you do the survey? This is what I said. And it has not been positive about.
We talked about this. I can't imagine a worse release than Wicked Prophecy.
Right. So we know they're going to do something based on that. We just don't know what it is. And so it's hard for us to talk about. So yeah. Anyway, all right,
doesn't make me happy. Tanner, come on, buddy.
Give us the scoopies.
You know what? I don't even need the scoopies. Just make this right.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the MetaZoo Flame Tower.
Yes.
Tell me everything.
What was the promo?
I don't know. You tell me everything you know.
Pizza Bird.
It was Piazza Bird?
Wow.
I got my NFT. Look
what
at
a betrayal.
Did you get your Genesis NFT promos?
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No.
Did you not redeem? I've heard the rumor that like half the people didn't redeem.
I have no idea how to redeem.
I know. I didn't even
I have no idea how to redeem. It's in my wallet.
These are the first MetaZoo.
Mike, hit me up and tell me how to redeem these things.
No, it's done. You can't redeem anymore.
Mike, give me an extension. It's like college all over again.
You're like 6 months late for redeeming.
Really?
Yeah.
That's disappointing. Mike, hit me up. I need
Remember our trade for the Genesis?
I got wrecked.
Destroyed.
I had so much faith.
You're gonna make up for my Commander Masters.
I had so much faith in like everything. Damn it, young George. What were you thinking?
Should have gone with Taylor Swift tickets.
Damn it. That's always true. I knew Tay would come out ahead.
All right, tell me about the Flame Tower.
It was an amazing event.
Who won?
A player. And we want to congratulate.
You had one job. Is to research the MetaZoo topic.
There is no way anybody could have guessed you wanted to know about gameplay. You have never once wanted to talk about gameplay anything.
I said word for word. George, full info on MetaZoo Tower. You and Josh need to pay more attention to the group chat and read more.
I did no research.
George, full info on.
I got you the promo card. What do you want from me?
Josh was supposed to be here at Eastern Standard Time. It says that in the message. And you were supposed to have the full info. Full info. You don't know the winner. You don't even know the winner. This is why this podcast is falling apart. We have a blank screen. Right? There's a blank screen right here where our co-host should be. It's just been red the whole time.
Oh, did you not? I thought you were putting up a picture of him.
I couldn't find one because we had to start because we have an hour and 15 minutes to record today.
Can you not like add one in post?
No, I'm not post. I don't do post. We don't do post. This is live, baby.
Do you not do any editing anymore?
I haven't done any editing ever. When have I ever done editing?
You used to do a little editing.
No,
you used to put some effort into the podcast.
The stuff you see on the screen has always been live while we're doing the recording.
Really?
Oh, yeah. All my videos are mostly live recorded.
That explains a lot.
I don't have time to make a video. Never mind.
Your videos are 10 minutes. Relax, boo-boo. You're not Rudy. Chill out.
Okay, tell me what you actually know about Flame Tower.
Pizza Bird promo.
What was the prize?
Money.
Oh my gosh, George. Listen, this is not my fault, audience.
I don't think my fault. I like how you know I'm home for 36 hours. And you're like, do research for me. And those 36 hours, you're home this week.
I put together the whole rest of the podcast.
You did nothing. You did nothing the rest of the podcast. Okay. What else do you want to know?
I'm afraid to ask. What are your thoughts on the Flame Tower?
I thought it was a wild success.
Wow.
I like the uniforms. What do you want from me? Uniforms, Pizza Bird. Dunzo.
All right, everyone. That's what you get on the MTZBWY booth. This was a disaster.
Oh, are we not going to talk about this? Mike said that he appreciates people saying the MetaZoo in their title. So I think we're going to change our podcast name. MetaZoo, May the Zoo be with you, a sorcery podcast.
Oh my gosh. I saw that and I was like, what? That's just, I don't understand the announcement. But I'm glad that we have permission.
It's funny because it's
2.5 years after we started the stupid podcast name.
Funny because it's clear like somebody made him happy with MetaZoo name in their thing, but I don't know who. I'm assuming it's us though.
No.
No. Why
There's,
not?
Because you don't even know what the prize or the winner.
I told you it was money prize. I told you it was a cash prize.
All right, everyone.
I knew the promo.
I'm gonna go
the jersey colors.
I'm gonna go hang out with my wife. You have to go get up early in the morning, and Josh will be here to record the podcast in 5 minutes. So,
God, what a disaster! Have fun at Gen Con.
We'll try.
You know what? Screw it.
Everyone.
Screw it. If you're at Gen Con, live tweet Louis, and he will put your tweets up during the normal May the Zoo be with you time.
You know that Twitter doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, can we talk about how stupid that is and how much I hate the little X symbol on my phone?
Can we talk about how the videos are called X videos?
Are they really?
Yes. It's so bad. It's so
What
stupid.
is Elon doing?
Dude, he lives in a different world, man. He's in Mars already. This is his AI.
AI is great. And AI startups are where it's at. Okay. I don't know how they got rid of Twitter. Like, I think getting rid of Twitter was a big mistake.
Yes. I think everybody. They also didn't announce it. And did you see that they took, like, somebody else made the graphic on Twitter and was like making like images, and he just was basically like, hey, that's going to be our logo. And then
really,
like 3 days later, it was the logo. I have no clue behind the scenes, like if he paid for it, but like it looks like Elon got drunk one night and was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change it to X because then it could be X videos.
I will say this. I do love Elon's YOLO spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't invest. Like I have our investments that are like my investor does it, whatever. I don't touch that.
My
right?
investor does it.
My what's it called?
The fact that you don't know the term stockbroker is a little concerning for your investment.
It's our retirement planning guy, whatever. I don't meet with him that often. He does stuff.
Shocking. It's like, I still have an LGS.
But then, you know me, we've talked about this on the podcast. I've got Robinhood. So my Robinhood is just like my YOLO fun crappy. It's like what I do with, you know, I guess my TCG thing's a real business now, but and I have 3 stocks. Hasbro. Guess what the other 2 are?
Is it Tesla?
Yep. And
I don't know.
Guess what the third one is?
I don't know.
It's X stock, baby. Well, it used to be Twitter. And I bought Tesla because of Elon, and I bought Twitter when Elon bought it. Why not? I don't know. All right, everyone.
Look how your portfolio fund is Chris Cox and Elon Musk.
That's like my joke portfolio.
It's like I won't buy a stock if Chris Cox doesn't approve it.
Don't forget the crypto too, which is
you host me on the crypto.
Yeah,
the NFTs.
You're welcome. ETH is up. ETH is way up.
ETH is up.
XRP. I was an adapter of XRP in 20.
I was an adapter. I knew you were an adapter.
In 2010, I think, got XRP, and they just finally got approved. So maybe I'll stop losing money there. Okay, this has been a terrible podcast, everybody. Sorry.
I think it's been a great podcast.
The question is, should we post it? And the answer is always yes. We're going to post it.
It's always yes.
So, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have yourselves a great day. Go subscribe to Josh's channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure he's live streaming this morning.
Screw it. This podcast is sponsored by Hometown TCG.
Yeah. Yeah. Go subscribe to Josh's channel and you can hear his takes on all the things.
He should live do this. He should like have us do our bit, pause it when he wants to speak, and then add his part.
That's how we should all do the podcast all the time.
Yes, we each have our own channel. We each do that.
And then we don't have to talk over each other, and the comment section will be happy.
It'd be a 4-hour podcast, and like with like the same number of listeners.
Yeah.
No matter what we do, same number of listeners. That's part of the podcast.
Maybe one day we'll all be here. Until then, remember to be kind to the people around you, and may the soup be with you.
And show up to work.